So now we get on to, this is my continuing quest to watch everything on Apple TV Plus that I care about before they take it away from me, before my 5 free months are up. So this is Mythic Quest, and it's a comedy series that I'd heard quite a bit about that stars Rob McKennell. I can never pronounce his last name. It's an Irish last name. He's American, but it's Rob McElhenney. McElhenney, I think. He's the guy
Because,
who
yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who has recently bought Wrexham Football Club with Ryan Reynolds. Uh,
Yes.
yes, so it's starring him and the two leads are him and an actress who I hadn't heard much about called Charlotte Nicdao. She's Australian, and it has all this. It has like Danny Pudi from Community. F. Murray Abraham shows up in it. Now, Sean, I think you would love the F. Murray Abraham character in this show. Yeah,
Oh,
is a guy
cool.
is a guy called C.W. Longbottom, and and the whole idea behind this show, it's essentially a workplace comedy. And I remember there was another one I was reviewing a while back, and I was saying that with a workplace comedy, what needs to work well is that you need to have characters that bounce off each other and characters that just work really well together. And I feel like there's almost like a bit of alchemy in getting that setup right. And I think with this they've gotten a group of characters that you put them together and they work really really well. So these guys work in a video game. They're video game developers, and they developed this one game called I'm blanking on what it's called. Oh no, the game's called Mythic Quest. Duh. there's a, yeah, the game's called the game's called Mythic Quest, and it's all about what they do behind the scenes to get the game out, to get the game ready, to put it out there because it's one of these MMORPGs, which is massive multiplayer online role playing game. So things like
Oh,
like World of Warcraft. It's essentially think World of Warcraft, and you're not far away from what this game is. So people make avatars, they go into the game, and it's all about the different ways that they try and do different things. The guy who sets up the company, he's called Iron, not Ian, but Iron. He's like this big visionary guy who's always so standing there going, let's figure this out, and then Poppy, who is the character played by Charlotte McDowell, she's the technical one who has to make all of his crazy ideas happen. And there's tension that comes from that. And there's a guy called Dave who is nominally the boss of the company but has no authority because nobody listens to him. And then there's testers who like run the game. And the F. Murray Abraham, you have the money man who is played by Danny Pudi, who doesn't care about anything apart from the fact that this thing is making money. He doesn't care about your artistry. He doesn't care about that. He just wants the thing to make money. And F. Murray Abraham is a failed author who wrote one book that won an award. One I think they call it a Nebula Award in the 70s or in the 80s. But they bring him in as the head of story, who comes up with all these convoluted stories that they come up with, and he's always like drunk. They think he might live in the office, but they're not entirely sure whether he does actually have a house, whether he just lives there. And I think the way, if you are into video games, I think some of the stuff that they do here is very video game specific. But if you're not into video games, it's just a workplace comedy. And it's great seeing the way these guys bounce off each other. And it's great seeing the way that this character goes and does this thing. And when they start going, and it does that whole thing, because there's 2 seasons of this and I've watched both seasons. It does that whole thing where they go into the backstory of one of the characters. And even though it's a comedy, it actually manages to have quite a bit of pathos in it. So when they go into C.W. Longbottom's story, that is actually one of my favorite episodes. Like they go into his backstory and they show him as a young man, and you see the novel that he was writing when he was a kid, and there's a bit where he meets Isaac Asimov, and, and it's I don't want to give any spoilers. I don't give any spoilers of what still happens, but it's good, it's funny, it's moving. There's a bit where William Hurt shows up. William Hurt shows up as an old writer as well, and it's pretty good. But what I would say is it's good. As I always find it really really difficult to rate and review sitcoms without trying to sort of like give you a worse version of a joke that they shared in the show. And so all I would say is great characters, great cast, great mix between them, and it just really really works when they're all together and when they're also like throwing things around. And I think you'd like it. And Sean, watch it, if for nothing else, watch it for C.W. Longbottom.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
I'll say. Watch it for C.W. Longbottom. So yeah, I would give Mythic Quest a 4. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I
Wow.
really enjoyed it. I thought it did that whole thing of being a comedy that has something to say, says it well, and also end up having a little bit of pathos in it. I think I never watched the U.S. Office, but I think a lot of comedies like this have taken the lead from the U.S. Office and sort of in getting that sort of mix. So I'd imagine it's a little bit similar to that, but having never seen it, I couldn't really say. But 4 stars for Mythic Quest, I would
Cool.
highly, highly recommend it.